All right, we are recording. Hello, everyone. This is going to be your recorded class for Zoom. So either choosing to do this during our regular scheduled Zoom class time, or if you find that that doesn't work for you this week, you can, of course, play this whenever. So we are going to do here a little fused class today. So a little bit of blended yoga and Pilates. So getting a little bit of yoga postures with some Pilates movements implemented and maybe a bit of flow movement from that yoga as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to, grab my phone so I know what time we have for everything. And we'll get this going. So we'll begin on our back to start class. Lying here, we're going to have the knees bent, feet grounded to begin. Knees and feet are hip bone width apart, right? Always that narrow stance. And then having the arms resting down beside. They don't have to be squeezed in tight. They can be angled out slightly. That will help to release and soften our shoulders. And then also with the palms turned up, it rolls our shoulders open even more, which can broaden us across the chest. Then the chin. Fist distance from your chest to keep the length to the back of your neck. Also feeling the crown of your head reach to the back of your workspace. Close your eyes to go more inward, and then slightly part your teeth to unhinge the jaw. We'll begin focusing on our breath work. So on an inhale, we'll take it in through the nose. Fill up, slow and deep. And then softly purse your lips. Exhale, let the breath just spill out of your body. Again, a deep, slow inhale, filling from the pit of your belly all the way up into the tip top of your chest. Then as you exhale, again, purse the lips and let the breath spill out from the top of your chest, releasing out all the way down through your lower belly. Breathing in, let the ribs expand out to their sides as you fill up your lungs. Now squeeze the breath out as if you're blowing air through a straw, and let the ribs knit and pull right back to your midline. Easy inhales through your nose. Strong, forceful exhales. Releasing, the breath out should be audible. So breathing in, the belly will rise, the muscles are relaxed. Then you force the breath out, squeeze the breath out, and you're feeling those abdominal muscles then contracting, engaging, and firming to help push that air through. Continue to stay here and focus on building up the relationship between your breath and your core. Maybe trying to pull the abs in even deeper each time you breathe out. Let's take 3 more inhales. Exhale. Really clear the mind of other things. Allow yourself to be very present and focused. 3 more, inhale. Or 2 more rather, I'm sorry. Exhale, let it go. 1 last time, breathe in. Then as you're exhaling, the core is firm, and use that to lift your feet off the ground. Slowly draw the knees to your chest. Place your hands on your knees. From here, just rock slowly side to side. Getting a little bit of movement here, learning to link it to our breath, and then also just kind of massaging out the back. Good. Then from side to side, we'll begin to create more of a circular motion with the legs. If your hands were clasped, go ahead and release the clasp. That will allow for greater range of motion here. So noticing that I'm stirring from the hips rather than the feet, right? So I want to make sure that I get nice, good movement here in the lower body, massaging into the backs of hips, the SI joints, the lower back region. And we're going to go ahead, pause, and reverse direction. Deep inhales. Powerful exhales. Good. Then bring the legs to still at center. Still holding the knees, we're now going to open the legs up as wide as we can. Circle them around, back in together, knees to chest. Opening out, sweeping down, in, and together again. So we'll continue with this movement, massaging now into our hip flexors in the front body, and then also working on the mobility of our hips, right? The range of motion here, again, is more important than speed is. Let's take 2 more cycles around. And then when the legs come back together again, we'll keep them there. We'll now place both hands to the right knee and let the left leg stretch out long. Flex the foot to anchor the leg to the floor. Hug your right leg closely in, which will stretch your glute and lower back. Drop your shoulders from your ears. While you're hugging the leg in close, let's draw circles with the foot to warm into the ankle. And again, full range of motion is what we're looking for here, not as quickly as we can. Let's reverse direction. Make sure that we go in both ways. Good. Then the foot comes into still and the right arm extends out to its side. Plug the shoulder down, and then with as many breaths as you need, that leg is going to cross over to the left side. As you look over your right shoulder, coming into a spinal twist, making sure that we really ease into the space here. We never want to force it. Sometimes if we move too quick or force the leg over, the lower back tends to kind of pinch in. So we want to make sure that that's released, that we're not clenching onto our hip flexor. So we're just allowing ourselves to melt into the space. Good. Let's take another breath in, deep and full. Squeeze it out, firm in the core, unwind the body, come through center. Once you've centered, release the right leg and stretch it out long. Flex the foot, anchor the leg down. Then the left knee pulls in, both hands holding on, hugging the leg into the body. Draw the shoulders away from ears. And keeping the leg hugged, we'll draw circles with the foot. Let's reverse direction. Good. Then foot comes into still, left arm extends to its side, shoulder plugs down. Again, ease into it. Leg is crossing over to the right side. Looking over left shoulder for your twist. Each breath in creates space in your body so that every breath out releases that space, but can allow you maybe then to settle more into this shape. Let's take another deep breath in. Fill, fill, fill. Squeeze out, core tight, unwind. Come back through center. Once you've centered, place both hands back to that left knee. Pull your belly in tightly, and then hover your right leg off the floor. Now, you can keep it really low to the ground, or if you need a little bit more modification, you can start to lift it higher to the sky. Either way, we want to find a sweet spot to where the leg can remain still, suspended, and supported by our core strength. Okay. So with your next inhale, slowly switch the legs out. Pull the right knee in as the left leg straightens out completely. It pauses and it stays suspended in air. Then exhale to switch. So one breath, one movement. Inhale to switch. Exhale to switch. Make sure the legs really move simultaneously here. That one leg doesn't lead and then the other one follows, moving at the same time to really keep the control over your body. If you want more heat, head and shoulders can lift up. If you want even more than that, hands behind the head with elbows really wide. We'll do this for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good. Take both knees in. If your head was up, release it down, recovery and rest. Just slowly starting to warm up the core. Let's take the feet to the floor next and take the right ankle from there over the left knee, flex the foot, push the leg out as much as you can. Any variation of this figure 4, you can work your way into. If you're holding on the left leg, again, make sure the shoulders didn't pull up to the sky. If you're deciding to offer a rocking movement, again, always making sure it's very slow. We just really want to understand the stretch we're getting when we shift, right? It's because it's going to change. So moving slower can really help us to better comprehend that in our body. All right, and then if you were in movement or if you had shifted your body weight at all, we're gonna come back through center, stay centered, release the stretch and switch to the other side. Left ankle crossing over, flexed foot, pushing leg out, opening the hip. Any variation, so that right foot can stay grounded. There could be movement, stillness, or a shift and hold, right? Depending upon your body. We're gonna all maybe need something different, so just kind of feeling it out in yourself, understanding what you're needing. Wonderful, and then if you had moved or moving, if you were moving or have shifted, English today stuff. All right, we're gonna come back to still at center. Let's release the stretch and take both legs here to the sky. Point your toes as you do so. That's gonna keep the legs really long and it's gonna keep the legs stiff as well. Hold the back of your right leg with both hands and begin to lower the left leg towards the ground. Find a level that's going to work for you. So maintaining length equally into both legs. You can keep your head grounded or decide to lift up head and shoulders for more intensity. Breathing in, take 2 slow pulses in with the right leg towards your body. Use the breath out to switch the legs. Then the left leg pulses in twice, breathing in. Switch slow on the breath out, right? We want, again, control, particularly of our upper body. So our upper body is a statue. Our lower half, of course, has movement, and our arms do just because of the switch, right? But we're using our core strength to stabilize and to anchor down with spine so that we don't slide around on our mat. We're being mindful of those pulses, that they're slow, that you maybe have to take a little pause with each pulse to really get that deep hamstring stretch. If your head is up, but you feel like you're straining your neck, right? Head, take it back down. Redirect focus back into your core. We'll do this for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Legs to the sky. Head down if it were up, knees in, recovery. Let's stretch the legs both long to the floor, flexed feet, anchored legs down, arms overhead now, hands shoulder width apart, and then seal the lower ribs down so you're not arching your back. Take an inhale, begin to peel off the arms, head, and shoulders. Exhale, continue up to seated, sit tall for good posture, fold for that deep, deep back body stretch. Stack tall with your next inhale. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, round the back, roll down slow, all the way to the bottom, and then never let those legs relax. Keep them strong, they're helpful. Again, inhaling, the lift starts. Exhale, peel up as slowly as you can using muscle strength. Sit tall, then take that deep fold. Make sure your feet are still flexed and the head gently falls through the arms. Sitting upright on your inhale. Scooping up the core, make sure that you look straight ahead still so the chin does not dive down into the chest. Coming back down to the floor. We'll do this once more. Inhale, start the lift. Can you peel up slower than you'd like to? Yeah, using all that muscle, no momentum. Deep, slow, hold. Let's stack tall again on the inhale. Stay seated now. Exhale, just lower the arms down beside you. From here, we're going to cross the legs, hands to the floor in front, and transition to tabletop, coming onto our hands and knees. Fingers spread wide, supporting wrists, knees hip width apart, and then looking slightly forward, not straight down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, right arm forward, left leg back. Move slow so you keep your alignment. Stretch the heart forward, flex the foot, point your pinky toe down. Keep the arm and leg extended. On an inhale, tap lightly down with your toes and your fingertips. And then exhale, pull the arm and leg back up again. Come down with resistance. Tap light. Exhale, pull back up again. We'll do 2 more here. Coming down, keeping everything else steady. Exhale, pull back up. Once more. Lower, lower, lower. Light, light tap. Exhale, find lift. And then return the hand and knee back to the floor. So with that one, when we're tapping down, we never want to rest the weight down, right? Even though it could be a light touch, we could still give out and let that kind of collapse. So there's still energy in the body when we're doing that. All right, let's realign our tabletop position. Let's pull the belly in and up. Instead of collapsing into the arms, let's lift out of them strong. Take an inhale. This time now, left arm forward, right leg back, foot pushing back, fingertips reached forward. We don't want to put a lot of weight to that left leg, so make sure there's still weight in that right arm. On an inhale, left arm, right leg, begin to lower, tapping very lightly, keeping the energy. Exhale, pull back up. Coming down with resistance. Lifting back up again. Let's do 2 more of these. Breath in. Keep your heart stretched forward. Keep looking forward. Exhale, pull back up. 1 more time. Come down on an inhale. Lift. Exhale. Return the hand and knee to the floor. Widen the knees, big toes touch. Sit back to heels. Start to walk the hands forward, fold over the legs, and rest your forehead to the mat. Child's pose. An active one, so make sure your hands didn't narrow. They're still shoulder width. Fingers are spread. Press the hands down. Lift the arm bones off the floor. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Pull the belly away from your thighs. From here, we'll tuck the toes under, begin to transition into downward facing dog. As your hips lift up, you're going to push your chest back towards your thighs. So in order to do those two things, right, the hip up and the chest back, you may need to bend your knees a bit for this. Sometimes the legs are totally straightened depending upon our body. I have tight hamstrings. So for me, when I straighten my legs completely, I lose a bit of the length of my spine. Notice my tailbone kind of curled under. And I've lost the ability to push back. So with my knees bent, my hips can lift higher, my tailbone reaches up, and I'm able to really get that chest closer in. Look between the 2 big toes. And although the heels may not touch the floor, you do want to root them down. So let the heels like anchor downwards, settle in. And then pull the belly in tightly. Take a look forward with your next inhale to the hands. And then on your exhale, walk your feet to those hands. As many steps as you need or as little a step as you'd like. Here's our forward fold. Then on an inhale, we'll take a halfway lift. So you want your back to be flat and your chest to be opened. And then exhale, melt and fold back over the legs. We'll do that a couple more times. Inhaling, halfway lifting. You're reaching out through the crown of your head, not your chin, so you're still looking down at the floor. Exhale, fold. 1 more time. Inhaling, heart forward and tailbone back. Exhale, let it release. On an inhale, you're going to come all the way up to standing. Ground your feet, stack up tall, reach your arms to the sky. I'm coming to kneeling just so you can see me. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. You're still standing there, okay? Exhale, you're going to stretch over to your right. Keep equal weight into both of your feet. Side body stretch. Stack tall with your next inhale. Release that wrist, grab hold the other. kind of lightly pull up on the wrist as you stretch to your left side. But keep the shoulders away from your ears, so slide shoulder blades down your back. Stack tall with your next inhale, release that wrist. Exhale, dive forward over your legs. You're back into that forward fold again. Take a halfway lift as you breathe in, right, that flat back to that opened chest. On your exhale, bend your knees, hands to the ground, and step back to a plank position. Now, plank can be hands and feet. Plank can also be hands and knees if needed. Take a big breath in, hold the structure. On your exhale, you're going to lower down to the floor in one piece. So you can come from here or come down to knees first and then lower to the earth. Once you're there, untuck the toes. Breathe in, peel your head and heart off the ground, hug between shoulder blades. Back body strengthener. Exhale, let it release. Twice more, breath in, head and heart find lift. Hands are grounded, but they don't do any work. Exhale, let it go. One more time, inhale, peel up. Exhale, return back down. Inhale, tuck your toes. Exhale, push up and back to downward facing dog again. Hips up, chest back, heels rooting down, ribs sealing in. Look forward on an inhale. Bring your feet to your hands as you exhale. Halfway lift on an inhale. Release and fold. Exhale. Breathing in, you're going to come all the way up to standing. Again, root down, stack up, reach your arms all the way up to the sky, interlace the fingers, and then take your hands behind your head. So again, you're standing tall. I'm just feeling so you can see me. On an inhale, we're going to stretch back over to the right again. But this time on the exhale, use a lot of your core, firm that belly, slowly pull back up. Feel the abdominal muscles doing all the work to stack your spine. Then stretch to your left on an inhale. Tight belly, squeeze a breath out, stack upright. On an inhale, release the hands, extend your arms high to the sky. Dive forward over your legs. Take a halfway lift on an inhale, right, that flat back. This time on your exhale, take your hands down to the ground and take a big step back with your left foot. As the left foot steps back, your hands take a small step back to frame your front foot. We're landing in a low lunge. So my back heel is popped up over ball of foot. My right knee over the ankle, never in front of. My hips, rather than sagging down, hiking them up and flattening out my back. Then release the left knee to the floor and untuck the toes. As you breathe in, take your hands to the right thigh, push off of it and stack yourself up. Let the hips push forward and the heart lift high. A little bit of a back bend here. Hands can stay on the leg for support, or the arms can extend up for a little bit more heat. Take one more breath in. And then on the exhale, take your hands back down, frame your front foot. From here, take your left hand, step it in close to the inside of your right foot, tent the fingers. And then take your right arm and reach it to the sky, roll open. When we roll open, the right knee tends to open out. We want to hug that knee in so it stays trapped over ankle. And then rather than falling and collapsing into the floor, I want to lift away from it. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, return that right hand back to the floor. Back toes curl again. Knee comes off the floor. We're back into low lunge. From here, take a step up, coming into forward fold. Halfway lifting on an inhale. We're coming into chair position on the exhale. So bend the knees, push the hips back, but lift your chest up. Hands to heart center for this one. So for our chair, I'll do this a front view. We want to make sure the knees don't start to fall inward, right? So we have to activate our outer hip strength by pushing knees out, but also inner thigh strength by hugging in at the same time. Weight should be in your heels, and you should be able to lift your toes up and wiggle them somewhat freely. Chest stays open. We don't want to be collapsed forward. Chest is up to activate the core. Now, take the arms and release them down beside you. Palms face back, and pump the arms.
Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out. Good, breathe in, breathe out. 2 more times, breathe in, breathe out, core tight. Last time, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, ground those feet, straighten the legs, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, dive forward over your legs. Take a halfway lift on and inhale. Plank position on the exhale. Hands come down and you'll step back to structure. Stay here, strong, breathe in. Either from this space or coming to knees first, you're going to lower the floor in one piece. Untuck your toes when you get there. And then extend the arms out in front of you here. Forehead to floor. Hips press down, and then make sure your feet are shoulder width apart here as well. Take a breath in, hips to ground. Exhale, lift everything off. Arms, head, heart, legs as one piece. Return down on an inhale. Again, exhale. Press the hips down as you lift up. Come down, breathe in. One last time, exhale. Arms, head, heart, legs. As you lower down on an inhale, slide your hands underneath your shoulders and tuck your toes. Exhale into a downward facing dog. Hips to sky, chest to thighs, heels towards the floor, and ribs sealed in tight. Look forward on an inhale. Feet to your hands on the exhale. Let's flip around this way so you can see me on this side. Halfway lift on an inhale. Release and fold over the legs again. Exhale. On an inhale, come all the way to standing, grounding feet, stacking tall, lifting arms to the sky. This time interlacing all but your pointer fingers above your head. Keep the arms long. Exhale, stretch over to your right, point those fingertips high to the sky. Stand tall, contract the core. Take it over to the left. Stack tall on your inhale. Release the hands and dive forward over the legs. Exhaling. Halfway lift on and inhale. This time on the exhale, take a big step back with your right foot. Bend your left knee and take your left or your hands back to frame your left foot. So, again, back heel lifted high. Knee, left knee over ankle. Back is flat and heart is forward. Release your left knee to the ground, untuck the toes. On a breath in, take your hands to the left thigh, push off of it, stack up, but then arch the back. Lift your chest up and gaze upward slightly. Let your hips press forward and the knee press forward. And if you'd like to, the arms can extend upward as well for a little bit more heat. Gonna take one more inhale here. On the exhale, go ahead and release your hands back down, frame the front foot. Your right hand is going to take a step in closer to the inside of that left foot. Tense your fingers. Then on your inhale, lift your left arm to the sky. Let the arm stack directly above the shoulder. Fingers are spread wide. Lauren, as you can see, right? Energy in the arm. Push away from that right hand so you're not falling into the arm. You're lifting out of it. Good. Take another breath in here. On your exhale, return the hand back down, frame the front foot again. Back toes are going to curl, knee is going to lift. We're back into low lunge. From low lunge, we're going to take a step up, come into forward fold. Take a halfway lift on and inhale. Release and let go on the exhale. This time we're going to come all the way to standing on an inhale. Ground your feet, lift your arms to the sky, then keep your arms lifted here. So you're not going to be able to see my upper body, but I will still cue what we're doing with that, okay? We want our feet to be a little bit wider than shoulder width, so a narrow straddle, okay? Turn the heels in and toes out. My arms are still extended to the sky. I want your palms to face forward, fingers spread, hands shoulder width. Take an inhale.
Then on your exhale, bend both knees, bend both elbows, squat down and pull the elbows down to shoulder level. Here's our goddess squat. So if you're looking at me here, I'm upright in my torso. I have not leaned forward. This is not what we want here. We want to press the pelvis forward, root the tailbone down, and open up our chest base. Breath in, straighten the legs, reach the arms back up again, squeeze your glutes. Exhale, bend knees, bend elbows, squat down, pull the arms down. Fingers are still spread wide and wrists are above the elbows. Straighten the legs, stand tall, reach the arms up again. Twice more. Exhale into your goddess squat. Stack up, breathe in, stand tall. Once more, exhale, squatting down, but don't let the shoulders pull in front of your hips. Now, pulse it, pulse it, pulse it. For 5, arms pull back, 4, belly tight, 3, steady breath, 2, 1. Inhale, reach arms up high, straighten the legs, turn your toes forward. Exhale, slowly fold forward over the legs, fingertips perhaps touching the earth. Walk both hands over to that right leg, hold on to it where you can. Pull up on the leg with your hands, pull down with your chest, or down with your heart towards your toes. Good. Release the leg, walk the hands through center, over to the left leg. Hold on with both hands. Pull up on the leg, stretch down with your heart towards your foot. And then release the leg, walk the hands through center. Then let's heel toe the feet back in so they're back to hip width apart. Take a halfway lift on an inhale. Move to plank position on the exhale. Hands down, step back to structure. Stay here, strong, all muscles engaged. And then on the exhale, again, from solid plank or coming to knees first, we're going to lower down as one piece. Once we're there, untuck the toes and extend the arms out in front of you again. Scooch back a little bit here. Uneven space. All right, hips down, take an inhale. Exhale, lift everything off the ground. Stay here, firm up your legs and arms, and begin to paddle and swim. Make sure your head doesn't move, nor the torso. Breathe for 3. Chest up. 2. 1. And then release. Cross the arms over one another. Rest your forehead onto the arms. Lift your feet to the sky, and then just windshield wiper your legs, whether it's crisscross or side to side. Just checking our time here. Oh, plenty. Good. Okay. Then from side to side, let's go ahead and stretch the legs behind us again, but this time hug the legs together close. Uncross the arms rather, hands underneath your shoulders. Let's push back into a child's pose with legs still in so that you get a deeper stretch to your lower back. And then arms can be extended out forward in front of you or stretch back behind you. But what we're focusing on is really breathing into our lower back body. So when you inhale, fill it up into that space, let the back rise. And then exhale, dump it out. Do that a couple more times. Inhale into the lower back. Exhale, let it go. One more time. Inhale, breathe it, fill it. And then on the exhale, hands to the ground in front of you. Transition it back to tabletop. So separating out the legs so they're back to hip width. I'll turn this way so you can see a little bit better here. So stretch for the shoulders, backs of them. Right arm on an inhale reaches out to the side and up to the sky. Look to your hand. Exhale, the arm threads through. Look to your left now. Stretch across the floor and then lower all the way down onto that left arm. You can temp the fingers of your right hand, step it to the side, and then push off the fingertips. Try to roll your heart towards the sky a little bit more. And you're just breathing into the backside of that right shoulder and into the upper back as well.
One more breath in. Exhale, unwind, come back to tabletop.
Other side, left arm sweeping out and up. Look to hand. Exhale, thread through. Reach across the floor, look to the right.
Keep that arm active as you lower down onto it. Again, you can tuck the fingers of your left hand, push off the fingertips. Try to shine that armpit towards the sky. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, unwinding back to tabletop.
And from your tabletop, we're going to come back to seated right at the center of the mat. And we're going to stretch the legs out in front of us. So legs hugged together, and if it's not really available for your body to have the legs fully straightened out, if you're finding that that's not really letting you sit upright, or if you're feeling any pull or strain in your hip flexors or your lower back, bend your knees a little bit. That's going to release that tension. It may also let you stack up much taller. And then let's take the arms out to a T, spread the fingers, reach from wall to wall, hug between your shoulder blades, core in and up. Take a breath in. This is all your waistline here. Twist to your right, get taller as you rotate, but don't let that left arm continue to pull across. Keep fighting it a little bit, pulling back. Center as you breathe in. Take it over to the left. So notice my movement here is really small because my legs aren't shifting. I don't want them to move. Center on the inhale. Also, I'm not relying on my arms for movement or my shifting of my body. It's literally the core strength, twisting and turning me to the right. Center on an inhale. Drop those shoulders from your ears. Take it over to the left and make sure your eyes stay at the horizon. Come back through center. Let's stay centered. Let's just draw the arms out in front of us. Hands only shoulder width. Shoulders down, chest up, belly in. Now the legs can fully lengthen if they aren't already. Drive through your heels, get taller on your inhale. I'll move sideways again. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, round the spine, roll back just a bit, hold here. Good. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna slowly make our way onto our back, but we're doing it as a core exercise. Roll back a little bit further. Keep scooping out the core, keep driving forward with your heels. Keep the chest still nicely opened. Come back a little bit further. Anchor those legs down into the earth. Come back a little bit further. Keep breathing in, breathing out. Come back a little bit more. Keep scooping, scooping, scooping. Come back a little bit further. Steady breath. Back a little more. Let's hold this space. 3, 2, 1. Take it down all the way to the mat. Arms rest beside. Okay. From here, draw the right knee into your chest, then the left knee into your chest, and take both hands now to your knees. Head can stay grounded for this exercise if you'd like to, or you can lift up the head and shoulders for more work. On a breath in, extend legs away from you and arms away from center body. Exhale, pull the knees in, sweep the arms around your back into that ball. So inhale, reaching away. Exhale, squeezing it in. Let's do 4 more. 4. 3 more. So if you need to modify, right, extend closer to the sky. Last time, reach it out through toes, through fingertips. Pull it in and rest, recover. So that was a double leg stretch. That was part of the ab series, which there's 5 exercises in the series. Oftentimes we do it in order, but sometimes we don't. We already did a couple of the ones from this series at the beginning of class for a warm-up and a stretch. So we're not going to repeat those. So we're going to do these out of order and not all at once. So that double leg stretch was the second one of the 5 that we have in this series.
We did the first and the third already, so we're going to skip over to the fourth in that series, which is double straight leg. It's a focus on your lower abdominals and your pelvic floor region. So really kind of focusing on strengthening one of the hardest areas of the core to strengthen. So double straight leg, it can look a few ways, right? The legs can be fully extended to the sky. If they are, again, make sure they aren't pulled in closely, right? Our butt doesn't want to be off the ground. We want our tailbone rooted, knees above the hips. You can have a little bend in your knees if you're finding that leg straight is just too much. You could even have your legs in tabletop, right? So whichever variation, it's still going to work the same area of your body, just in a way that can help your body. Arms either close beside you, pressed down, or opened up to T, pressed down. Or if you want a little bit more, stack the arms, make sure they don't move. Point the toes to keep the legs firm and strong on an inhale. Very slow movement. We're going to lower the legs downward just a little bit. And then pull that lower belly in deep and slowly pull the legs back up again on the exhale. So particularly if your arms are lifted, we've kind of removed that support system at our sides. So the movement might even be smaller, okay, because of that. Exhale, pull back up. We really want to make sure that we're not arching the back when the legs are lowering. Coming down with resistance, pointing and lengthening through the toes, belly deep, pull back up. And when you pull back up, again, make sure you're not drawing the legs in too closely. Coming down with resistance, lifting with muscle strength, not momentum. Let's do 2 more of these. Breath in, breath out. One more time, inhale for the lower. This time on the exhale, lift the legs all the way up and draw the knees in, rest and recover here. Good. So that was the fourth in that series. For the last one, we're going to do a non-traditional version of crisscross. Crisscross generally is a supine exercise lying on our back and working into our waistline, the obliques. We're going to do it in a side body fashion. So let's go ahead and roll onto our left side to start. We're going to make sure that we're in a straight line and that we're lying down all the way down onto that left arm. It's extended and we're resting onto it. Then the right arm reaches up, fingers spread, stacked above the shoulder. Hug your legs together tightly, which will help you balance out. This is strictly for the side body here. Take an inhale. Then on the exhale, cinch that in and lift up the head and lift up the legs. Small movement here. Bottom arm should be relaxed. Come down on an inhale. Again, exhale, squeeze in the side body, lift head and legs straight up. Notice my arm here does not move at all. Come down on an inhale. It's tempting to drop the arm down to get us to come up higher, but I want that hand to be reaching up to the sky as you're lifting. Lower on an inhale. Again, lift. Squeeze it out to the bottom, and then return back down to the floor again. Let's do 2 more of these. Exhale, finding lift. Core strengthening. Return down on an inhale. One last time, let's lift. And let's keep lifted. Point your toes. Now, swing the legs forward and back, but don't let this lifted arm move. 4, 3, 2, steady breathing. 1, good. And take everything down, arm included. I just want to check time to see what I can do on this side. Perfect. Okay, so from this space, before we go to our other side, let's go ahead and either you can keep your head resting here or you can prop your head up with your hand. That may offer a little bit more support here. Okay, right hand to your hip. Now let's flex our feet, push through the heels. Bottom leg pushes into the ground. Top leg hovers and inwardly rotates. Now we're moving into outer hip. Exhale, lift the leg up higher. Come back to hover. Still use your core here. So exhale, when the leg lifts up, the belly pulls in. Hover on and inhale. We're doing 4 more of these. 4. And hover.
Notice nothing else in my body is moving here. I'm really like a statue and really focusing on the precision of movement. 2 more times. Lift. A lot of muscle work here needed for that stability. Once more, let's take it up, but now take it down only halfway and then point those toes again, firm it. We're drawing circles, but really take your time here. Again, the same principles follow. The upper body should not move, so we're needing a little bit more power from our core to help keep that steady still. Breathing for 3, 2, 1. Pause, reverse direction. Keep using your bottom leg as support too. Push it into the earth. 3, 2, 1. Pause, flex your foot again, and then pulse it up, up, up. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Take the leg all the way down. Whew. Bend the knee front and forward. Take a moment to tap that hip out. Doesn't take a whole lot of movement to get that kind of burning sensation, right? We're working that muscle pretty hard for doing very small, simple movements. Okay. Let's take that right foot now. Step it behind the left leg. So now our hips are no longer stacked, right? That top hip has pulled back a little bit, but I do not want you to roll back all that far, right? We're still lying on our left side body. Then take the left leg and push it out in front of you a little bit further. Hover the leg to start and externally rotate the thigh. So the inner edge of your heel is pointing to the sky. Inner thigh, lower abs again. Exhale, leg lifts. And then hover, breathe in. Lift. Good, hover. 4 more times. 4. Lower. 3 more, lift. Good. Heel kissing the sky first. Lift. Good, back to hover. 1 more time, use your lower belly strength to help pull the leg up, hold it there. Then as you inhale, bend the knee, pull it towards your body. Exhale, extend the leg out, but also upward, right? Upward towards a diagonal. Draw the knee in, push through the heel, drive it out. 4 more, 4. Press away. 3 more, in. Push it out. 2 more times, in. Press. Last one, knee towards body. Drive out, hold high. 3, 2, a little bit higher. 1, good. Slowly take it down to the floor. Now let's, from here, press up. Swing the legs around, and we'll transition to the other side. So we kind of move backwards here. Usually I end with side body or waistline strengthening through that side series, but we are doing it first. So lying in your right arm completely, left arm extended up, fingers spread, energy. If that hand is dead weighted, then the arm becomes limp, then there's more of a chance of it moving around. So we energize, we lock in, and we keep steady. Hug your legs together too for balance. Take an inhale. Exhale, head and legs find their lift. Come down on an inhale. So again, it's tempting when we lift the head and legs for that lifted arm to pull down. We want to keep it reaching straight to the sky. Lower on an inhale. 4 more times. 4. Lower on an inhale. Make sure that bottom arm, right, that right arm isn't being used. Lift, right? We don't want to rely on arm strength. We want core strength. Come down on an inhale. We're doing 2 more of these. Exhale, squeeze that breath out to the bottom. Return down, breathe in. 1 more time. Exhale, head up, legs up. Hold there, point your toes, swimming legs. But not letting that lifted arm move at all. 4, 3. Keep your lift up. 2, 1, and then rest. All right, let's take that left hand onto our hip. Either you can stay rested on right arm or prop the head up. Flex your feet. Bottom leg presses down, top leg hovers, inward rotation. looking straight on so your neck, again, is always in line with your spine. Then on your exhale, that leg lifts up. Hover on an inhale. So again, noticing my leg is moving, everything else back to hover. So requires some power and strength here. 4 more, 4, and taking your time. However, if we rush through, then we're not necessarily able to be focused on the muscles needed to be engaged to offer this support, okay? 2 more times. Use the core, tighten it up. Each time you're breathing out, breathe in to let the leg lower. 1 more time, exhale, leg lifts. Then only take it down halfway, point your toes. Let's draw some circles again. Slow it down, take your time. Our shoulders like to move here, so we have to be very mindful, core working to support them. 3, and your breath. 2, 1, pause, reverse direction, breath in, breath out. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Stay here and flex your foot. Pulse it, pulse it, pulse it. Good. 4, 3, 2. Pulse it up. 1. Good. Take the leg all the way down. Bend the knee to the ground in front of you. Tap out the hip. Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to work with the bottom leg. So left foot behind the right leg. Right leg pulled out in front just a little bit more. Hand back to our hip. Flex the foot, hover the leg, external rotation, right? We don't want to roll in because then we're not really working the inner thigh, we're working our quad, right? That external is going to really hone in on the inside of that leg. And pelvic floor, lower abs. Exhale, leg lifting up. Hover as you breathe in. Exhale, lift. And hover. We're doing 4 more of these. 4. Hover. 3 more. Hover. 2 more times. Lift. Hover. Once more, lifting the leg, holding it there. On an inhale, bend the knee, pull it towards the body. Drive it away as you exhale. Inhaling, out and away, exhaling. 4 more, 4. Push it away. 3 more, in. Drive it out. 2 more times, in. Good, press. Last time, pull it in. Make sure you're reaching upward as you extend, hold, breathe. 4, 3, higher. 2, a little bit more. 1. Get in, slowly take the leg all the way down. Let's go ahead and press back up to seated again. And we're going to a little stretch for the hips and the inner thighs. Let's start with the hips, soles of the feet together, knees opened wide. So the feet don't have to be in really close. If they are in close, the knees start to hike up. We want the knees to be as open as they can, so pushing your feet forward can help with that. Holding the ankles, let's sit up as tall as we can, or maybe you have to come to the shins or even just below the knees, right? As much posture as you can gain, and then maintain that length as you hinge forward towards the legs. Imagine your heart was trying to reach up and over the toes. And then maintain the length, but begin to melt. So rounding your lower back, rounding your middle back, rounding your upper back, and then finally letting the head go. You want to focus on and breathe into your outer hips and your lower back, this kind of like little belt that wraps behind you. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Big breaths into the backside body. Deep breaths out. Let's do 1 more here. Big inhale. Roll it up slowly on the exhale. Stack tall. Let the head be the last thing that comes up. And then from there, we'll take the legs out to straddle. With the legs opening out to the sides, we're just going to flex the feet, push out through the heels. Some options here. If you find that you're really tight in your groin and your inner thighs. Sometimes hinging and leaning forward isn't quite an option. So what you can do instead, and I'll do this from a side profile, in your straddle, you can take the hands behind you. Rather than leaning forward, you're going to lean back and press the hips forward, which will open you up more to the inside of the legs, right? If you're able to ground the hands down in front of you, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to lean forward. Your sits bones are going to lift a bit, and you're going to push your hips to the back. So keeping the feet active, either leaning back or leaning forward, and then we're just kind of breathing into the inner thigh, groin region. Good, let's do one more breath in here. On the exhale, let's walk the hands back in, whether that's from behind or out in front, stack tall. Let's pull the legs in. Let's transition back to tabletop. And what I'd like us to do is go through a 2-minute plank to end class. So 2-minute plank is always going to be broken off into 4 sets of 30-second holds. Your first 30 seconds, you'll do a center plank. Your second 30, you'll do a side plank. Third 30 is back to center. Fourth of the 30 is your other side plank. Variations are there for you. Make sure know when to adjust if needed. You just want to maintain good structure and good breathing. So I'm going to go ahead and set up our timestamp. And I'll actually join this time. Usually I never do, but today, of course, I will for demonstration purposes. Okay, so let's get ourselves ready for a center plank. We'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Begin 30 seconds. So just make sure you're scanning your body from head to toe, legs hugged to midline, glutes squeezed in. The lower belly is in and up to prevent the hips from sinking down. Space between the shoulder blades puffs to sky. Elbows remain softened and gaze slightly forward. Breath in, breath out. We've got about 10 more seconds in this space. Good. 3, 2, 1, we open into a side plank of your choosing. Legs can be stacked, bottom knee can be grounded, top leg could be lifted, right? Some options, but either way, that bottom hip, pull it away from the floor. If your legs are stacked, squeeze them tightly. Push off the ground with that grounded arm. Breathe, 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 breathe. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, we come back through center for another 30 seconds, trying to get there as gracefully as we can. Again, knees can come down. Just make sure the hips draw forward, so you're going to add a nice diagonal with those. But legs in, glutes squeeze, belly in, chest activated, elbows soft. 10 more seconds. Almost there, good. 3, 2, 1, so you can see me, other side plank. Okay, so finding a variation that will work for you, but could still be very challenging in a way. Maybe that top arm reaches up and overhead. Maybe start to roll open, which will challenge your balance much more. Yep. 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Come back to center, knees down, widen them, big toes touch. Again, a child's pose. Whoops. In your child's pose here, pull the arms in closer to lift your forearms up and just roll the wrists around. Everybody shake the hands out. Wonderful, and then let's go ahead, come back up to seated. Whew, a little sweaty. All right, coming back up to seated, grounding your sits bones straight to the earth, heart high to the sky, arms beside you, palms turned up. On an inhale, lift the arms up high to the sky, let the hands connect above you. Exhale, pull your hands down to heart space. Again, inhale, reach down, out, and up. Connect above. Connect to center. One more time, inhale, sweep out and up. Watch the hands lift. Watch the hands come down. Bring the chin to your chest. Close your eyes. Always thank yourself here at the end of practice. You showed up to the work. You showed up to yourself. You're dedicated to your well-being, and you gave your body, mind, and soul this opportunity of movement, breath work, and connection. Thank you much for joining, not so live, but recorded through Zoom. Namaste. Wonderful. So thank you guys very much. I will be sending this out through a link through email so that you have this again for the time when we normally have a live Zoom class. But since I am out of town, recorded is the way we're going for this time. So I will see everyone next Wednesday starting back up again. So for those of you who are missing a Friday class and a Monday class, I will put these up. So nice work, guys, and I'll see you next week.